Hey, Braylon, it's your dad. Just wanted to just say something, let you know that I was thinking about you. And, I did want to, I guess I could do that in this video. I wanted to kind of just tell you my side of things. I never really talked to you too much about what happened between your mom and I. And I wanted to give you something, on my side, because I think we both know that your mom lies a lot, and she has a strange issue with that. I don't know where it comes from, but so I'll just tell you what the truth is. I think you know me well enough to know that I don't lie about this stuff. This is real. This actually is what happened. Obviously, it's my perspective. There is a lot of stuff from your mom's point of view that I don't understand at all. Maybe she could fill you in on that. Maybe you might be the only one to actually understand everything because you know your mom, and I don't know her. I don't understand her. I don't understand why she does what she does and doesn't let me see you and all this stuff. But anyways, so I'll just go back to the beginning. Your dad, I actually was married before to this woman, and this woman, her name was Carla. She had, I guess you could say, she had some mental issues. Like, she had trouble with, dealing with reality and stuff like that. And she was a good person. And, I have good memories of her. And, things were good with us for a while, but they slowly fell apart. And anyways, we ended up getting a divorce, and your dad was single for a while. And then I met your mother. And now, comparing your mom to my first wife, your mom, at the time she seemed very, she seemed smart. She seemed confident, which in hindsight, she probably wasn't. But she seemed like a nice person, and she wanted to have kids, which I wanted to do. This is obviously before you existed. And I mean, if I could just describe it, she was everything I wanted from my first wife that I didn't have. And she just seemed like somebody who I didn't have to worry about. I had to worry about my first wife a lot and help her through a lot of issues. So anyways, enough about my first wife. She's history now. So I really loved your mom. Obviously, we wouldn't have gotten married if I didn't love her. And, I wanted a nice life with her. I wanted to have family. I wanted to have more than one kid. And I was led to believe that's what she wanted as well. And things were great at the beginning. Now, I owned a home. I had bought my parents' house from them. I think I had shown it to you before. I don't know if you remember, but that was the house that me, your mom, and you actually lived in for a while. You didn't live there that long because your mom left me when you were only like 6 months old. But anyways, so when your mom was pregnant with you, we actually broke up, and we didn't before I knew that she was pregnant. Your mom left me. Your mom had a history of just leaving me and never telling me why. We never had fights. Me and your mother never had arguments, never fought about anything. We had disagreements on things, but never a fight. And it was very odd. Like, I would explain to her my viewpoint, and she would not she would not tell me her viewpoint. She would never explain to me what was bothering her. So I was always baffled, like, what's your view? What do you want to do? You know? So I had a house. Your mom did not want to live there because my first wife lived there, and that's the whole reason I brought up my first wife. So she didn't want to live there. Now, I understand from a woman's point of view, they don't want, they don't want like the hand-me-down stuff. It's like, you don't want to give the stuff that your first wife had to your second wife. They're not going to feel comfortable with that, okay? I get that, but a house was a big purchase, and it wasn't something I could just easily just get rid of. So, and the market was really bad at the time. You don't understand that stuff, but during like 2008, 2009, I think it was, the housing market was really bad. So for me to be able to sell it, I would have had to sell it at a huge loss, because I bought it at pretty much the high, the most expensive time, and then everything crashed. So it was a really bad timing for me. So she wanted me to get rid of the house, and I actually said I thought about it and I considered it. And then I had a conversation with her, and I said, listen, how about this? We have to stay here. It is a home. It's a place for us to live, and it's a place for us to settle and raise you. And I explained to her, it'd be a very bad financial decision for me to sell the house at the time. Apparently, she didn't like me even saying that. That was really a big deal to her. And that was the time where she left. And that's when she took you. And I do want to explain to you that I loved you. I loved you with all my heart. I mean, I was really the one getting up in the middle of the night, changing your diaper, feeding you in the middle of the night, because your mom was more of a sleeper than I was. I don't sleep much. So in the middle of the night, I would hold you, and it was a special time for me. I really loved feeding you and wiping your butt. I loved you. But anyways, so moving forward, and your mom didn't like the answer of me explaining what I thought was the right decision. And I said to her that I promised to her that I would sell the house before you started going to school. That way we could settle into a community that we both liked. So at the time, I think we were thinking about Westford or somewhere around there to move to. But that never happened. We never got that far. Your mom just left, took you with her, and went to her parents' house. Now, she had a history of doing this with me before you even existed. She would just leave and never tell me what was going on, and I never got an answer on what was going on in her head and why she was leaving, and she would change her mind. All of a sudden, like, she'd come back, and then it was like nothing happened. And I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but and I'd ask her, but she would not explain to me what was going on in her head. So like I said, she left this last time and never came back. There was no argument. There was no fight. Nothing. So then she left, and I mean, you got to understand from my perspective, this woman and you were everything I wanted. I wanted a family, and I didn't understand. I thought she was in agreement with that, and I would consistently text her. I'm like, are you coming back? What's going on? What are you doing? And then eventually she served me with a divorce papers, which was really weird. It was really, really weird for me because I didn't even understand what was going on. I didn't know why she was upset with anything, why she didn't want to be married. Why would she do this? It was just very confusing for me. So she served me with divorce papers, and I think she actually accused me of. Honestly, it's very, very hard for me to remember the details, but I can tell you this. She accused me of physical abuse. Like I hit her, or I scared her, I think it was. I closed the door too hard or something. I slammed it or something, and somehow she got this what do they call it? I forget what it's called. It's basically keep me away from her. She got a paper to basically keep me away from her and you as well. A restraining order. I forgot what it was called. So she got a restraining order against me, and now it's crazy because I'm your dad and I did nothing wrong. I've never touched your mom ever. I've argued with her. I've had heated words with her, but I've never touched her, never hurt her in any way. But she's done it to me, and I'll explain some things that have happened a little bit later. But anyway, so, we got a divorce, and honestly, I was somewhat naive in the whole divorce thing because I really didn't believe that this was all happening, and I got screwed. I really got screwed during the divorce because I kind of just gave her whatever she wanted, and I didn't really fight for myself, and I still had hopes that we'd be back together because honestly, me looking at the whole perspective of things, I didn't understand what was wrong. Like, was there anything wrong? I didn't see it. Now, listen, I can understand if she just doesn't like me. And that's perfectly fine. But she never said that to me. She never said, listen, I just don't like you. I thought I liked you, and now I don't like you, but she never said that. Never said that in the entire time. But she did accuse me of things that I never did, which for me really hurt. It really hurt because it's dishonest. It's very dishonest to do that. So, and everybody who knows me knows that I'm a very gentle person, and it's very hard for me to get mad. I'm very patient and everything usually. If obviously as everybody has a tipping point, but for me that's usually pretty high, and I don't usually get mad at things, especially in a situation with her where there was no arguments. So I have never, ever, ever hurt her in any way. Now there was one time, so all of this happened. She filed a restraining order against me, and I actually broke the restraining order. And how I broke the restraining order, which is really crazy, is in the document that was given to me. It's written by your mom to say that I can contact her via text messages. But what she did is I went after me texting her. I guess on the document that I wasn't aware of at the time, there was this checkbox that the judge wrote that said that no electronic communication. And I didn't see that. It was just like one checkbox. I'd never seen that. My lawyer never told me about this. So basically, I broke the restraining order, and I had to go in front of a judge, and then the restraining order got extended. So all during this time, I couldn't see you, which was crazy. The whole thing was crazy because there's nobody in this world that wanted you in my life, in their life, more than me. I wanted to be a dad. I wanted to be your dad. And it was very, very heartbreaking that she could manipulate the system to take you away from me. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I just couldn't believe it. And I've never even heard of a mother who would do this to the father when the father never cheated on her, never hurt her, never did anything hurtful in really any way. a mom to do that to the father is very unusual. It doesn't even make sense. And my parents were both divorced prior to, marrying each other. They thought it was extremely strange. Everybody I've talked to thinks it's like crazy. So it just doesn't make any sense. Why your mom doesn't honor the fact that I'm your dad? I mean, the only thing that I can think of is that she wants to win something or win something. And maybe it has some argument that we've had in the past. Because, there have been times where we've argued and we fight with each other, and it becomes silly, honestly. And, sometimes I'll say things negative to your mom because, honestly, she's been the worst person to me in my entire life that I've ever encountered. So I don't really have any love for your mom at this point. Oh, also, I wanted to tell you, before I forgot, that if I actually hurt your mom at the beginning or cheated on your mom or anything, your mom wouldn't want to have tried to work things out with me after the fact. Because your mom, about a year after the divorce, or somewhere around there, maybe 6 months to a year after the divorce, your mom actually said she wanted to get back together. And it was very confusing for me. I'm like, what the hell? After all you've done, you want to get back together? So, I wasn't really seeing anybody. And honestly, I did want to keep the family unit together. So I considered it. But I gave your mom a stipulation that we had to see family counseling or couples counseling, or I would not even consider it. So me and your mother went to counseling, and we only went once. She never returned. I went for the return visit, and she didn't show up. She didn't want to go anymore, I guess. From my perspective, from what I know about your mom seems to be somebody who lies a lot in her life, lies about a lot of things, maybe to make herself feel better or things. So, there are some people who, it's understandable why they lie, because it's just a coping mechanism for things. Maybe they're insecure about things and they have to just make things sound better or feel better. But let me tell you, it's not a fun thing to have a lot of lies and try to hold them up, because eventually they fall apart. So, I don't know. I think I'm rambling on and on. But this is just stuff I wanted to tell you. I know you're old enough now to somewhat understand this stuff. I'm not saying anything negative about your mom. I do believe your mom loves you with all her heart. I believe that. I think she's clouded with her judgment. And I think if she really, really thought about really loving you wholeheartedly, that she'd let me be part of your life. Because I love you just as much as she does. And if she can't understand that, she can't see that, then she's blind. Because I've never shown you anything but love and caring and the desire to be with you. There hasn't been one moment where I've turned my back on you and not wanted to be with you. So I don't know what she's telling you at this point. I'm sure she's made up some sort of story, because she has to tell you something why I'm not seeing you. She has to tell maybe Stephen. I don't know if she's still with Stephen or if they're married. I don't even know if he's your stepdad now, because I have no idea. I don't get told anything. But I'm sure she hasn't told him. Like, she had to tell him something about why I'm not seeing you, or why she's not letting me see you. So I don't know what the story is. Whatever it is, let me just tell you, nothing has ever happened. between me and your mother, ever. I've never hurt her. I've never disrespected her. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have argued with her and said some nasty words to your mom because she got me really mad. But that's about it. Just words is the only thing that I've said bad about your mom. That's it. So, I'm your dad. I'm here. I want to see you. Star Wars is coming out. That was our thing. We used to go see Star Wars together. I wish I could do that this year with you. That's just a small thing. I've missed birthdays. I've missed Christmases with you. I don't want to cry because I'm... But I love you, baby. I love you so much. If your mom ever sees this, I hope she finds it in her heart to just understand that there's no reason why I shouldn't see you. Like, I'm not going to... There's nothing that's going to harm your mom in any way by letting me see you. It doesn't take anything away from her. I mean, just let me be part of your life. I mean, you know, I thought I was a good dad. I hope you think so too. I love you. Miss you so much. Bye.